Hello again, so I've got another grain to glass video for you. Today it's a Vienna lager, so let's get on with the brew. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep this video quite short and snappy, so some of my brew day grain to glass videos do tend to drag on a bit, mainly through me just waffling on about the recipe. So yeah, going to keep it short and sweet and just get to the brew footage and the tasting at the end as quick as possible. So the recipe, Vienna lager, I got this recipe from Saffer Brew, so go check out his channel. I'm not sure if there's a brew day video for this one, but I'll put a link up to his channel anyway. And I believe that he got the recipe originally from Dino over at tubedinoz, so again I'll put a link up to him as well. Chris Saffer Brew altered the recipe slightly by putting in Hallertau Blanc hops instead of, I think, Sarza in the original, and I got a bottle of that from Chris and it was a really nice beer. I put it on my list to brew ages ago. I can't remember exactly when he sent me that, but it was quite a long time ago now, and yeah, I finally got round to doing it. So kept the recipe as it was sent to me by Chris. One slight change is I'm going to be using a different yeast, so I've been doing a little bit of research, and the one of the yeasts which is supposed to be really good for Vienna lagers is the Mexican lager yeast from White Labs. Mexico being somewhere where they brew quite a lot of Vienna lagers, so I believe this yeast is used in a lot of beers in that style over there, and gets lots of positive reviews online, so that's what I'm going with. So the recipe: 3.2 kilos Vienna malt, 1.1 kilo Pilsner, 80 grams of Cara Aroma. I'm using the darker Cara Aroma malt. I'm not sure if it was the lighter one or the darker one, but the colour ends up about right with that anyway. 80 grams acidulated malt, just to bring the pH down a bit, and then 50 grams of chocolate malt, again for colour adjustment. I'm doing a fairly simple water treatment, so keeping it nice soft water profile. So just a little bit of gypsum, calcium chloride and salt, and then the hops, 15 grams of Hallertau Blanc at 60 minutes. This is one of the newer kind of German noble hops. It does actually have a fairly high alpha acid percentage compared to other noble hops, so it's 9.7, so you don't need much in for the boil edition. So just 15 grams of that, and then 25 grams at 5 minutes. That's it, so no dry hopping. So it's obviously a malt forward beer, but from the beer that I tasted of Chris's version, the Hallertau Blanc just adds a little touch of fruitiness that works really well with that, and then the Mexican lager yeast as well that I mentioned. So that's the recipe. Not going to talk about it anymore because I want to keep it quick and snappy, and I've already waffled on, so let's get into the brew day footage. Okay, so there we have the finished product, and yeah, it's looking really nice in the glass. I think this glass is a little bit dirty, as you saw on the pour there. There's a few bubbles forming around the edge of it, but you can still see some absolutely cracking clarity on that. So it's got a beautiful colour to it as well, a nice deep sort of golden amber colour to it. The head retention is looking a little bit lacking in this glass, but again I think possibly the glass being a little bit dirty might be responsible for that. But anyway, it's been in the keg and lagered for a good few weeks now, so it did need a little bit of time, this one, just to smooth everything out, I think. So it came out at 5.8% in the end, which was a little bit higher than intended, so that's a little bit more of a premium kind of ABV than you would normally expect with a Vienna lager. It was just yeah, slightly overshot the OG, and it attenuated down a point lower than the original target as well. So I think it went from a target of about 5.2 or 5.3% up to 5.8 in the end. But it's not the end of the world, and I'm pretty happy with the beer as it stands. So Vienna lagers, I've done I think one of these before, wasn't that happy with it, but it's not really a beer that you kind of see that much. It's in fact, I was trying to you know, find some commercial examples to compare it to, and there's not really many about at all, in fact. So I ended up looking up the kind of style guidelines for it, and it's essentially just you know, intended as a very malt forward, kind of bready, toasty, rich you know, lager, clean, still reasonably well bittered, but it's all about the malt flavours according to the style guidelines, not much in the way of the hopping. With this one I was using the Hallertau Blanc, hoping to get a little bit of sort of fruitiness from that, but yeah, I'm not sure how much that carried through to the beer in the end anyway. So let's give it a little bit of a tester and see how it came out. So on the nose, it has definitely got the malty kind of Vienna malt thing going on. So there's a lot of that kind of sweet, you know, bready, kind of white bread, fresh white bread sort of smell to it. Very nice, quite appealing. Not much in the way of hop aroma at all. In fact, I don't really get any kind of hops on the aroma there whatsoever. Yeah, it's just a kind of sweet, bready, rich, malty thing going on. So let's give it a taster. And yeah, with the flavour, just a really nice kind of crisp but kind of full flavour. There's just enough bitterness at the end to kind of dry it off on the finish, but initially it's quite a nice sweet bready taste to it. Again, I'm not really getting much in the way of flavour from the hops, so I think with the version that was sent to me by Saffer Brew, I did get a little bit of the fruitiness from the Hallertau Blanc. On this one it's really not there, but I think that probably makes it more of a traditional Vienna lager anyway, and it's, you know, it's not losing out because of that. It's very tasty. So it's pretty good. I'm really happy with that actually. It's very drinkable. As far as what I understand the Vienna lager is supposed to be like, I think it kind of ticks all the boxes for that. As I was mentioning, it's pretty hard to get hold of a commercial Vienna lager, but I did find one, although hard to say that it's authentic because it's brewed in Ireland. So I've no idea whether this is kind of true to style or anything like that, because I've never tried it before, but I thought I'd just, you know, try this one out, compare it to the one I've just brewed, and see what it's like. So this is Boyne Brewhouse Vienna lager. Let's get it into a glass and see how they compare. So first off, definitely quite a bit lighter in comparison. Now my one did have a little hint of chocolate malt in it, just really for sort of colour adjustment, I guess, more than anything else. That certainly looks to me like it's maybe either all Vienna malt or a combination of Vienna and another base malt, maybe without anything else in there. Does smell, again, quite a lot of that kind of sweet malty Vienna malt aroma. I would say that smells a little bit more of that kind of Pilsner malt character as well. So that one, I think, is probably a little bit drier. Not as much body on it. And probably a slightly more prominent bitterness to it as well. Pretty good, but I think I probably prefer my own one, which is nice. As I said, no idea really how that stacks up, you know, in terms of comparing it to an authentic Vienna lager, but both very nice. But I think I prefer my own one, which is always good. So yeah, cheers. Definitely a good recipe. So thanks again, guys, for sharing that with me. Chris and Dino before that, who passed it on. So worth a go, and just a little bit of a, you know, something a little bit different from usual big hoppy beers or IPAs or whatever. A nice malty European lager. So cheers.
I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, you know? That or his dudeness or Duder or, you know, El Duderino.